Hey guys, this is Bradley Benner with Lead Gadget and the ATM. Today is June 2nd, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. This will be probably another short webinar. If you guys have any questions, post them on the events page. There is something I do want to go over briefly, just kind of give you a preview of what I've been working on for the outsourcer training so you guys can see it. Brian and I spoke yesterday or the day before, and we're going to be putting on what he calls the Internet Marketing Boot Camp. And that's going to be starting on June 21st. And it's going to be a 2 to 2.5 hour webinar every week on Tuesday evening from 8 p.m. till 10 or 10:30 p.m. for 3 weeks. And we're going to be covering a lot of a whole bunch of different ways to make money and the method, obviously using the ATM and the methods that we are actually using ourselves. And we're going to go into all types of Q&A and stuff like that. So a lot of training is going to be coming in the next few weeks for the Internet Marketing Boot Camp, and it's free to attend, guys. So there may be a cost for people that aren't ATM or Lead Gadget members, but you guys will get it for free. So just know that there's going to be some really good training coming up, some really intense training. That said, if you guys have any questions, that's what I'm here for on during the week on Thursday. So if you want to post your questions on the events page, I'll try to answer them. Other than that, I'm still working on building out the the ATM builder training for both individual virtual assistants as well as teams, and forming and building teams. And that's where I've been spending the bulk of my time recently, is working on the management side of it. And that's developing working procedures, processes for managing site builders. Okay. So that's what I'm working on. I'm going to have to redo the training because the interface inside of the ATM is being updated. It's going to look completely new, guys, because that's what they've been working on for the last couple months. As a matter of fact, one of my partners at Semantic Mastery, Marco Benavides, has been brought on to help out with the coding and the interface, changing the user interface and all that kind of stuff. So I've gotten to see the back end of it. It's pretty exciting. It's quite a significant difference in how it looks. It's more modular. You guys will be seeing that soon. So once that new interface has been implemented and rolled out to everybody else, then I'm going to have to redo all the training videos for inside the ATM. So I'm kind of holding off on that right now and just working on the management sides of things, which I will give you guys a quick preview of that. Let me grab the screen. If you guys have watched any videos I've talked about outsourcing, you know that I have been using Trello for developing working procedures, and that's essentially creating processes for work that any type of work that I need done. I try to create a working procedure, which is a written document of the procedure itself. And then let me close that. And then I create a training video and then a written document with a kind of a step-by-step of how to complete the task. And then I put them into Trello boards and use Trello to deliver the training to whoever it is that, whatever virtual assistant is that I'm trying to train. Well, I came across this application called Flow, Flow. It's at getflow.com. And this is paid. I think they have a free trial, but it is paid, whereas Trello is free. But this allows you to do so much more than just Trello. It's more organizational. It's a workforce management application. And I just started using it a few weeks ago, and I really like it because I can set it up like Trello. So if you guys are seeing this right here, I've got what we call lists. So to do, doing, done, and needs attention. So I've set this up just like Trello, and you can use it just like Trello. So we can drag things from one column to another, which will identify where the person that's working their way through the project I can identify where they are or monitor where they are. If there's anything that needs that they run into issues, they can go over and drop it into the needs attention list, which will notify me via email, so that I can go in and check where they got stuck. So just to give you an example, these are a couple of the management templates that I'm working on. Like I have a campaign research template where I'm teaching my team leader how to identify ring partner campaigns. So you can see over here, these are the steps that these are what they call subtasks. This is called a task, and then these are subtasks over here. But here's one for campaign review. If you take a look, I've got like one says check indexing. So put a training video link up here, a description, and then each one of the subtasks. So these are basically the linear steps. So this is very much like Trello. Here's another one for indexing procedure. Here's one for landing page setup. So you can see I got all the subtasks here. So this is for training how to teach her how to go out and actually build all the landing pages. And then here's one for assigning phone numbers from Ring Partner and going and editing the landing pages. So it's pretty cool. I've been having a really good success working with this because, again, I create these lists, and then what you do is you set up notifications for the board, or you subscribe to the board, so that whenever somebody makes changes or whatever, it'll notify me, right? So for example, if during the landing page setup, let's see, let me close this one out. Instead, we'll do this one. Let's say during the builder was working on this, putting it in doing, and they started going through the process, and let's say they got this far down, and then they ran into trouble, they could actually drag this over here to needs attention. I would be notified that it needs attention, and I can jump over here and open it up and see exactly where they left off. They could even add comments and say why they had to stop there, whatever the problem was. And that way I can jump in and say, okay, let me see what I can do to help you resolve this issue. Once that issue is resolved, we would bring it back over and drop it into the the to-do list. Does that make sense? And so anyways, it's a really cool process. If you guys are doing any sort of outsourcing, I think Trello is great for assigning training for particular tasks. But as far as like overall organizational structure, Trello isn't the greatest for that. So I like this Flow app better because I can still set up all my tasks, my task training as a Trello board, exactly like a Trello board. But at the same time, I also have a communication app or a chat app inside here, as well as the ability to have kind of an organizational structure where we have a team leader who can then assign tasks to builders or subordinates. And then there's also a time tracking app that can be integrated with this. It's called Harvest. If we take a look at this, let me show it to you. I haven't integrated it yet because I haven't integrated all the actual builders into it yet. Right now I'm just working with the team leader inside of Flow, but this is called Harvest, and this is a time tracking app that integrates seamlessly with Flow because it's from the same developer. And again, this is paid as well. So just like Flow, it has a subscription pay, you have to pay for it based on the amount of users that you have, or members, team members. But this is the same thing. Harvest has got a paid trial. But once I start integrating the builder training into the Flow app, so here's what my plan is. I'm going to finish the management training first. Once the management training is done, then I'm going to start to integrate the builder training into the Flow app. And at that point, I'm going to integrate the Harvest time tracking, so that when the team leader goes and assigns the builder projects to, a project to a builder, the builder, once they start working on the project, the moment they click on something, it will start to track their time. And then I can actually time track and pinpoint, be able to identify where there may be some bottlenecks or some slowdown. For example, I can also determine if one builder's performing better than another, is more efficient than another. And it will give me the ability to have breakdowns and charts of, show like which tasks people are spending the most time on. And, it's really cool. It'll give me so much more granular control over being able to monitor the builders so that I can make the team more and more efficient, if that makes sense. And plus eliminate anybody that's not, anybody that's not producing work up to the standards that we've set. You know what I mean? As far as efficiency, if they're too slow, or they're having trouble, or they're just charging too much time per site build or whatever, I'll be able to identify that and first offer help and guidance. But number two, if they're just not, not meeting the standards that we set, then we just let them go and replace them with somebody else. So all of that will integrate directly in with here. which is pretty cool. That's why I like this app. It's just more robust than Trello, in my opinion. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Once I get more and more of this done, we'll talk about making it available. I think what we're going to do is end up having 2 versions of the training. We'll have a basic virtual assistant builder training, which will be just for like if somebody wants to hire a single virtual assistant and have them learn how to build ATM sites. And then I'm going to have an agency version of the training. So it'll be like an outsourcer training for agencies. And that will be so that they can hire, builders as well as team leaders or project managers to pretty much manage everything. And I think there will be 2 different levels for the training that I'm putting together. So you guys will be the first to know about it once I have more of that done. In the meantime, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully you're getting excited about it too. I think this is really, really cool. I really like this Flow app. So with that said, I'll answer any questions. Looks like we only have 1 question. Wow, that's crazy. All right. Well, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name because I know I'm going to say it wrong. So he says, question, Bradley, how is the Express Indexer working for indexing subdomains? I've built out about 25 or so subdomains. It has been a couple of months, yet to see any traffic on them or see them indexed in Google. All right. So here's the thing. If you're just building on subdomains and you're not building something on the root, there have been reports from others that it takes longer for the sites to index too. So you might want to build something on the root domain. And what I mean by that is you can build on the root domain, and then you can also change the site address to the www version of it. So for example, once you build on a root domain, then and the site has been deployed, log into the site, and then you go to settings, general, and then you can change the site address to add the www version of the URL so that it still appears to Google as a subdomain, but it's really built on the root. Okay. I don't know if that makes sense, but however, I'm just telling you that because we are building. I didn't used to build on the roots at all, but now with us, the builders that are, producing that are building all the sites for me now, that's what we're doing. That's part of the working procedure is once a site's deployed that's been built on the root domain, they immediately go in and change it to the www version of it. And I've found that helps the sites to index a little bit better. Number 2 is, remember, guys, if you're having trouble, if the site, what I found with the Express Indexer or any type of indexing is it is more responsive, or it works better if you can get Google to index at least just one page or post or the home, the homepage URL of the site first before submitting for indexing to an indexing service. I mean, if you can get just one link indexed from the site, one page or post indexed from the site, then when you send it to the indexer, it will start to index faster, if that makes sense. So what I've done is, let me just show you. If you just go to Google and search submit URL to Google, it'll be the first link up here. You have to be signed into a Google account because this is Google Search Console, formerly Webmaster Tools. But you use this link right here to paste the URL in of the site that you want to index, and then click submit. Just the homepage URL is fine. Click the CAPTCHA and then click submit request. This submits it directly to Google. Okay, so just do that with, like, again, I've got virtual assistants that are doing this for me now. In fact, the builders go out and build all the sites, and then they go through and hit the promote button, and then the team leader goes back a week later after the sites have been deployed and checks the indexing status. And if they're not indexed at all, then the team leader goes right here to the same URL that I'm showing you, and will resubmit the homepage URL of each of the sites that aren't showing as any indexed results. Okay, and she'll go through and submit 15, 20, 30 sites within a day, and then go back the following day and check indexing again, and 90% of them will have had at least one the homepage indexed by that point, and then she'll submit those sitemaps to the Express Indexer, the sitemap URLs, the URLs that she pulls from the sitemaps. In fact, the builders do that during deployment or right after, as the post build cleanup process. So she'll just go grab the text file that has all the sitemap, you know, the URLs from the sitemap. She'll go grab that text file and submit it to Express Indexer. Okay, so that's just the process we're going through. And it seems to work well because sometimes we'll go back and it'll be, you know, 2 or 3 weeks since the site has been deployed. And I just developed a process for this last week, actually. So there were sites that we had built 5, 6, 7 weeks ago that still hadn't indexed because I hadn't had a process in place to go back and check them. Now I do. And that's what you were seeing over here in Flow under campaign review template. You'll see check indexing and indexing procedure. And I have those there so that the team leader can go through while the builders just keep building, because that's what they're good at, and let the team leader go through and check indexing. And if they're not indexed, then they work on the indexing procedure. If that makes sense. Okay. So the Express Indexer, yes, it's better than nothing. It's still not great, but it's better than nothing. But in order for it to work well, you need to at least have one URL indexed. And that's why you can submit directly to Search Console. And guys, you can submit a URL to here and wait about 5 minutes or 10 minutes and then go check site colon, use the site colon operator to check indexing, and you'll see that it's indexed. It usually only takes within like under 10 minutes and you'll see it indexed. Okay. It's not instantaneous. And sometimes occasionally there will be a URL that just won't index right away. It'll take a few hours or whatever. But for the most part, if you submit something here within about 10 minutes, it'll be indexed. Okay. And then once you submit to Express Indexer, it will help it along because Google already recognizes the site. It's on their radar, if that makes sense. Okay. So anyways, hopefully that was clear. All right, looks like there's no other questions. Wow, short webinar again today. Well, thanks for being here, guys. I'll post the event for next week as well. You guys can post your questions on that. And again, be looking out on June 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Internet Marketing Bootcamp that we're going to hold for a few weeks. All right, thanks, everybody. See you.